Hey, sports fans, welcome back to another fun episode of
You really have no idea.
You Really Have No Idea. That's actually,
Steve the Boy Wonder Nyquist over there.
thank you, Mick the Crippler. Good to see you. It's actually the name of the podcast is We Have No Idea. It's kind of a special podcast,
Is
right?
it now?
Because we just have like I saw your notes. We have just like three things to go over.
Yeah, I didn't pick a big
I,
agenda this time.
I
I realized that as I edit these videos and then post them, I realize that I spend a lot of time talking and not enough time listening. So I was
I was going to just sit here for a
trying
while,
to
like
trying to find a
what?
way to open
Who
the
the?
floor to my good friend Steve over here.
Huh? Who are you? Yeah.
Make
Well,
the blow, make the bloviator.
it's on. Okay. I liked the first topic of Justin Tucker. I mean, we can't get away from that. You know,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
tough one. It's tough to watch your heroes fall. I
I
have a
mean,
love-hate relationship with the Ravens. I mean, I there
sure.
are players that have been on the Ravens that I can't stand, but I love John Harbaugh.
Yeah, great.
But I
Yeah, I hear you there.
and
But
Tucker has been such a great guy all these years, and then
yeah, he's the most accurate kicker. So
I think that last season is he still the most accurate because he missed
no,
a.
I said moist, not most.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I
Yeah,
misheard you. I
that's
thought
okay.
no, surely I didn't hear him say moist. Did I? No,
Yeah,
he's
like, what the
moist.
hell?
He's moist. Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
But hey, what is he accused of?
Unsportsmanlike stroking, something like that, right? Yeah. You got to be careful, man. I got a bunch of these. That's it. Yeah. Unsportsmanlike ejaculation. Yeah, something like
Oh, geez. It
yeah.
blows my mind. I mean, yeah, he's just a kicker, but dude, he's a professional athlete, and I think he's married with family,
Yeah. The
right?
kids yeah.
But on top of that, he's a professional athlete. It blows my mind that guys like him and Deshaun Watson would ever struggle to.
Yeah. What's your problem, man?
Yeah,
But I
you
mean,
just
he's
got
got.
you just got no game.
Wow, I got.
I mean,
Yeah.
so
Well,
what was it? He agreed to a 10-game suspension to start the 2025 season.
yeah. That's the longest you'll go without finishing on somebody's table. So yeah, yeah. And the NFL's conduct policy is kind of firm, just like Justin Tucker
But that's so
in the massage room.
that's the thing I get. So a lot of times these guys, their potential punishment isn't handed down until the legal process is played out.
Yeah,
So much like Deshaun Watson, he negotiated this discipline while all at the same time trying
yeah.
to avoid admitting any guilt. But it's like, well, you're taking 10 games, but you're not guilty.
You're not guilty.
But you're
Yeah,
not
I
even on
think.
a team anyway. So is he really missing any games?
Yeah,
I mean, the Ravens cut him.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't, that, I mean, Shannon Sharper was another one who used to pull the Cosby where he would drug women to have sex with them. And well, I guess maybe that's a kink. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, man, but
I've always wanted a willing participant, but, um,
hey, Justin Tucker, he's just a kicker trying to massage his legacy. Come on, that was good. Come on, right? So I was thinking,
I need to spend more time just listening to
I was
you.
thinking that,
See,
that
pure evidence of it right here.
Justin Tucker is now kind of in the category of Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. Justin Tucker he should do a podcast. So
Why
I
is that, Steve?
thought, because, it's just a podcast where Justin could break down coverage and consent in a hands-on retrospective. Every episode could end with a sigh and a lawsuit. So let's talk about some different names for Justin Tucker's
Oh, I wish
He
I was prepared.
No, no, it's all good. So I'll start off. How about fork down and rubbed wrong?
Run, run.
Yeah, something like that. Or happy end zones with
Happy end zones. Very,
with Justin Tucker.
very nice.
What do you think? Legs, balls, and lawsuits with
Oh, that
Justin Tucker.
hurts. That's
Yeah,
bad. Yeah.
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 How about between the thighs with Justin Tucker?
Between the thighs. That would work more if he was a center.
Touchbacks and touchy subjects.
There's something there.
A stroke of misfortune with Tucker. Or my favorite, it's just illegal hands on the body with Justin Tucker. So there you go. That's all I had for that one.
Personal foul.
Yeah, that's it.
Or is it personnel foul?
Unsportsmanlike ejaculation.
Yeah.
10 yards out of 10 weeks.
Poor Justin.
Yeah, well, there'll be more to come. We'll
Oh,
bring it back, Justin. I'm sure.
hey, let's keep it clean here, okay?
Oh yeah, we'll see him in the future, I'm sure.
Oh,
The other thing that happened this week was Aaron, our mentor,
I love that quote.
our fodder
Oh
for
my God. On the Pat McAfee show,
yeah.
Maybe this year's probably going to be my last, and then you're not going to see me because I don't like being in the spotlight, he says on his weekly Pat McAfee appearance.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my God.
This reminded me when all those politicians would go on Fox News and go, they're trying to silence me. They won't let me speak. They're taking away my free speech. And even the Fox News reporters would go, you realize you're on national television right now, right? You're what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
What in the world are you someone who's they're trying to take away you're just talking right now. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want the spotlight. Maybe the people in his life don't, because we still don't know the name of this mysterious wife. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be in the spot. Okay. That shoots to help our idea that, you and I, we worked hard. We both came up with 10 names for podcasts.
We're helping the guy out, and here he throws this in our face. I mean, he doesn't want the spotlight, but every Tuesday he's on a show that has more lighting than a porn set. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Seriously.
Oh man.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
No spotlight, man. Come on. I mean, I listed out a whole bunch of them, man. I had a whole bunch. And then as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, you know what? You don't get one of them. I'm not giving you any of them. None. You can't have them.
Me or Aaron?
You're on your own, Aaron. You're on there. Oh, I'll Aaron. I'll text them to you. You'll like them.
Yeah.
You get a good laugh, Yeah.
Pat McAfee.
90-minute.
Yeah, you got to want. I would have loved to have been there to see Pat McAfee's face, like, what? Wait, you're on the okay.
I don't know. So who pays who? I think Aaron's probably paying Pat. Come on, you gotta.
Aaron gets paid to be on the show. I know that. Yeah, I learned that a while back. But he could he really go a whole month without airing some kind of a grievance about something? I mean,
he's got to have a farewell tour, and enlightenment and interceptions and just, there's no way.
Well, let's bemute. So, do you think it's possible? Let's say he does retire, and then he spends a year high on ayahuasca,
yeah,
and then he snaps out of it. And then, do you think he wants to coach? Do you think he wants to? I mean, high school football. Do you think he wants to get into the pros? Do you think he wants to get into the booth? Do you think he wants to start his own podcast? I mean, do you really see him just saying, "Nah, I don't want to do anything"?
I don't know, man. That's tough, I think the only thing quieter than in his retirement plan is his playoff exit. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know, man. I mean, from what we've seen consistently, it's 90 minutes every Tuesday. conspiracy theory, UFOs, mushrooms, pass interceptions.
I didn't really say that, even though I
Yeah, I
said
didn't say that, even though you know I said it, but I didn't say it.
it. Yeah, there's
But
tape.
I didn't say it. Okay, so I deny that. Yeah, I. Who knows? Maybe he'll surface somewhere in rural southern Idaho, coaching college football or something, or some I don't know, or high school football. I mean,
Well, that's
it's lucky to have him, right? I mean, seriously,
yeah.
because he does,
I
but
was talking about this with somebody else, and they said, "Well, yeah, never know. Maybe he just want to ride off into the sunset." And I said, "Really? Do you see him as a guy who can just go live in a cabin
sure,
and he's content? Do you
maybe
really see him containing himself? Do you see him as such a low energy guy that he could do that? I don't. I like you and I say he might be old, but he could still kick our asses, right?
yeah, I don't know,
He's still got a lot of energy. He's going to want to do something.
maybe this mystery woman bride,
Yeah.
right? Maybe this mystery bride is reeling him in, like, this is it, Aaron. We're riding off into the sunset, and
He's
maybe
gonna
that's
go. He's
what,
gonna go buy a horse ranch, and
maybe so. Maybe he's living out in Eastern Oregon somewhere, just hanging out, fly fishing, pulling a Nolan Ryan. Look, buddy, I earned this. I'm going fly fishing every morning. What? You know, I don't know. Maybe.
yeah, I don't know. See, but Nolan is surrounded by family. Aaron, he seems to repel his family, doesn't he?
Well, he buys most of them. I mean, so he's got what? He's got
Oh,
Pat,
my
right?
mistake.
I mean, he's got Pat, and then he's got Joe Rogan, and then the intern that Joe Rogan's intern.
And then what? AJ Hawk there on the Pat McAfee show, is that his sidekick?
I,
AJ Hawk,
I can't
or
say that I've ever watched that show.
I that's
Probably
funny.
pick him out of a lineup.
It's funny you say that because my my television here, that's the one I'll finish watching Monday Night Football on, and then on Wednesday morning when I'm working from home again and I turn on that television, it's typically the Pat McAfee show. And hey, no offense, Pat. I mean, you're kicking our asses, but I immediately turned the channel. He's compelling. Pat
You
McAfee's
know what?
interesting.
You know what? I
I
tell
got
you
no
what.
problem with Pat. I want to make this clear. I got no problem with Pat McAfee. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's a funny guy. I think he was a smart football player. I loved watching him play. I love watching his. I mean, he had a great attitude, and but I just, there's that moment Aaron Rodgers is there, and I just go click.
Yeah.
I can't take it. And I remember Mike Florio wrote an article once that talked about it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago where Aaron Rodgers just went off for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and Florio said, hey, here's the summary of it. I went through the pain of watching it so you don't have to. And I thought, what a great guy. I like that Mike Florio. But I do. I like Pat McAfee. I'm not knocking Pat. I just can't
Well,
take it.
I'm going to push back a little bit there, Mick, because I got to disagree with you. You know what? He's
All
not
right.
kicking our ass because nobody is switching channels from us, right? Nobody's like watching to be like, no, I got to go find Aaron Rodgers.
You
No,
know,
they're watching. They're watching all the way through. Both viewers are watching the whole episode.
I stand
Um,
corrected.
you
You're
know,
right. I apologize.
that's okay. I just want to pull that. I appreciate
I
you.
can't believe I,
Yeah.
went there.
Well, you kind of brought me down a little bit, but that's all right.
Sorry, my fault. My
Well,
fault.
hey, you know what? Something else that you kind of mentioned there, yeah, in your notes, uh, training camp, right? It's coming up end of March,
Yeah.
which is always a fun time, right? Because
Yeah.
you can go down and you can watch your team kind of practice, interact, take the kids down, get some
Everybody's
off.
announcing, hey, we've got 8 opening camps. We've
Bingo.
got seven
Well,
open,
is solidified, right? It's kind of a fun time, right?
Yeah.
July, August. I really like that because for me, fantasy football it's the big thing. It's coming up right around Labor Day, right? We're going to be hitting our draft. We'll set up our draft and our draft dates, and we still need to negotiate some of our league size and format, and there's been talk about getting a new commissioner. There's some things going on here in our league for another podcast.
Sure, sure, sure,
To
sure.
bring up that, hey,
Little teaser you're putting out. You're putting
yep, I'm
dangling
putting
a
it
little
out.
teaser out there for
Things
us.
are
Yeah.
coming. Things are building back here. I mean, you can't see back there in the back room, but it's meetings going on.
The boiler room back there, huh?
In the boiler room, it's actually right up there. You got the stairs to turn right. It's back there. Yeah, it's not. That's actually the bathroom. You can't. If you
Oh,
this way,
well, there's a lot
kitchen.
of activity happens in there too.
Oh yeah, lots of
Yeah.
meetings, lots of
A lot of
lots of
decision
paperwork.
making.
Yep,
Yeah.
paperwork process. Things
Priority.
we don't need
Yeah.
to we don't need to worry about. Uh, but as we look at our, going into training camp again, that's our, you know, it, that's where you got to start building your plan. Now you're going into what? How many seasons of fantasy football? Is this your second?
This will just be my second. Yeah,
Your
believe it or
second.
not.
So tell me a little bit about, I'm taking a turn here in the podcast. I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
So some of the things that you learned the first time around drafting, and now kind of knowing how it's played,
Yeah.
going into training camp, you can see how jazzed I am about it.
That's
And
that's a
I'm not the one that's dragging the kids down to the Seahawks mini camp so I
yeah.
can autographs. Nobody. I'm over here looking at the. I'm over here pulling reports. I'm looking at who's coming, who's showing up, who's running the 40.
Who's the next Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? Who's the
Bingo, bingo.
yeah. So good question. One thing you tried to emphasize to me last year, and it turned out true. Now, if I got to interject, so I drafted my team, my first draft, and
Yeah.
we
And
had
then
a
you inherited one. The,
yeah, first one I ever did last season,
yep.
and we had a 14 team league, 12,
Yep. 14.
14,
Uh-huh.
and I took over a team after week one.
Yeah, you
Now,
inherited a team,
Mr. Moody,
which was
I can't remember his first name. Not that we'll call him out here. He drafted well. That team I did really well with. My team, by the end of the season, I think I had two original players on my team. I had waiver wired out everybody, except for two players. I think, Justin Jefferson and someone else. Oh, even if I wanted to get rid of Justin Jefferson, I couldn't have because ESPN they have a subset of locked players you
you got a
can't
lot.
trade, like the Alvin Kamaras and
Yeah.
Lamar Jacksons and Josh Allens. So the thing I learned, one thing you really emphasized, I brought that up a second ago, was running backs. You gotta have a good foundation of running backs because if for no other reason than either bye weeks or some of them just need the rest for a week or two, they're just going to get banged up a bit.
Yeah.
So it's very important you get. I mean, the way in a 14 team league, you look at your roster of quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex, defense, special teams, and a kicker. You really want to have at least one marquee running back, one marquee wide receiver, and then maybe an RB2 and a wide receiver two. But if you can also have an RB1 in that flex or a wide receiver one in the flex, that's great.
Yep.
Don't shy on a tight end. I mean, there's some tight ends out there that they're basically receivers.
Sure.
But you got to make a decision because if it's early in the draft, I mean, do you pass on a wide receiver to go get one of those top marquee tight ends and hope he stays healthy all season? Mm-hmm. On the other hand, the thing that happened with me last season, as the season progressed and certain teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is an excellent example. They lost Godwin and Mike Evans in the same weekend.
In the same week, yeah.
Next thing you know, Cade Otton is a tight end. His numbers boomed.
Rushing it.
And I happened to have him on my team. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So, he's having 20-point games. But at one point between the two teams, I had 4 of the top 10 tight ends in the league, either on my bench or on my roster, just by chance. I would really rather those be running backs.
Sure.
But the other thing is, who's going to be that top running back? If you go look at the list, when you look at the 32 teams and of all the starters, you're going to have 18 of them that are really RB1 types because there's some teams that, I mean, their running backs are never going to get a 100-yard game. And if they do, it's a big surprise. But, those Derrick Henrys and the
Bijan and
Saquon Barkley and Jamar Gibbs. That's another wild thing. I had David Montgomery on my team,
Uh-huh.
and I think Purple Rain had Jamar Gibbs.
Yeah.
That that's a very unique situation where you have two running backs who will each score in double digits every weekend.
Yeah.
And if not, maybe late in the season Montgomery got a knee injury, and so it was Gibbs for like the last four weekends. But
Yeah.
so running backs are a big deal.
Yeah.
Or you can,
Watching that depth chart, like you were saying, it's not necessarily the running back one, but if there is a strong running back two, that's one that you want to be considering, because strong running back ones, they're great, right? Like we saw McCaffrey, and we saw what happened with him. He got injured, and then what happened? You have a strong running back too. You got
oh
Mason,
yeah,
boom,
that
he's in there, and
that
right behind him is Garindo, and
that whole
boom,
San
boom,
Francisco team,
yeah.
you got
And
to
now
give
you're
half
like,
of it to
oh,
coaching. You got to give half of that to coaching. But yeah, they had some depth, didn't they?
yeah,
I mean, they went four or five deep last season in the
yep,
running back room, kind of the way the Kansas City Chiefs did. But
yeah.
the Niners did better than the Chiefs did. I mean, they had to go five deep in the end
But
because everybody's getting
they
hurt.
didn't change their game plan. They didn't change their style. They just put another guy in. You put
Yeah,
Mason in, he gets tired. You put Garindo in, you just keep going.
it's a Grendo. He's still with the Niners, but Mason turned that into a better contract with the Vikings, and so did one of the other
Good for
guys.
him. And now
And
he's number one. And
but that
Garindo,
was and I remember that you had him on your bench. You had Mason on your
both of them.
bench,
Yeah.
and yeah, because I remember thinking, oh, McCaffrey, he's got to go first. But that was before everybody kind of knew how bad that tendonitis or whatever it was
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
And so dude, that was a crusher to whoever drafted him, because I mean that was a top pick. That could have
That
gone
was
to
the first that,
Saquon Barkley or
that
Derrick
was the
Henry.
first pick in our league. That was the first player
Yeah,
picked in our
yeah.
league. And he
I don't know who did it, but who got that pick, but
out there.
just
Uh,
didn't work out, man.
yeah. So I good. Well, it sounds like you've got a pretty good plan, or like an idea going into it. That's good. We'll see what you do with it. What's your
Yeah,
take on
you
what's
know,
your take on the league size, the amount of teams? So we're at 14, which is that's pushing that sweet
not
spot.
a lot of meat left on the bone
Oh,
there.
but
Yeah,
then
when
you
it
have
comes
to
to,
know how to play.
yeah,
But if
if
you go
you,
too low, then it's just high scoring games. Everybody's got two, fabulous players, except for one guy who doesn't know how to figure, you know,
seems like 10 to 12 would be a good sweet spot, because they, like you said, if you've only got an eight team league, you're just able to double up on superstars, right? Wide receivers, running backs, whatever it might be, and even have a pretty good bench. Um, 14, I remember there were just, especially mid to late season, you'd get a guy who was hurt or on a bye, and you'd go to the waiver wire and you'd just go, oh.
yeah, I think I'll roll the dice on this guy.
Cam Akers, huh? All right.
And then there was a few times that we did that, and it was like, holy crap, this guy came off the bench and scored 40 points. Like,
On occasion, yeah, once
yeah,
in a while that would happen. But
cool.
so it seems like 10 to 12, probably a good spot where you're still scoring well, and you can maybe pick something up on the waiver wire that
Okay.
kind of help you through the weekend.
Well,
But on
Mick,
the other hand, if you get to, I mean, I'm trying to imagine a 16 team league.
that's difficult.
Yeah,
Mick,
you're pretty thin, and it's kind of maybe like reality. I mean, if you lose a top tier player, kind
I
of how
bring
it
it.
goes for teams in the real world.
I think I agree with you. Right around 12, pretty good. Keeps it competitive. You still got your players. You still have your marquee players,
And you have to have some GM skills.
you got to still have to know how to play.
Yeah.
So we ended the season with 14 teams and one manager on the waiting list.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So if that's at the end of the season, we had somebody that was like, "Hey, next year I'd love to play."
Oh, okay.
So we came into this. We're still in the off season, right? We're not in we haven't training camp. Give it another week, then we start putting the feelers out.
Oh yeah, people are going to start. The news is going to start. People are going
Yep.
to start to itch a little bit.
But
Yeah.
right now, Mick, we're fielding about 22. Right at about 22.
Oh
So
my.
the commissioner's thinking that perhaps we break it into two leagues, right? Equal, two leagues equal, not based,
We could
based
do
on,
one commissioner over there
and one commissioner over there, and then play two leagues,
or someone else in
and
the
then just
league.
go by average, go by points, same standards across, and then whoever has the better score at the end, because you can't really play them.
Of
Whoever has
course
the
not.
better score at the end wins
Yeah.
it. Mesh them together at the end.
You're
And
just
you have
talking about
22 leagues. Here's how they all penciled out.
you're talking about total final points.
Total final points,
Right.
total final,
Well,
happiness.
so this would be like,
And then I would
if I
also like to
may,
throw this
this would
kicker,
be like
funny
AFC,
joke,
NFC.
throwing the kicker in.
I'm sorry, you
Justin
broke
Tucker.
up there. What?
Yeah, I said funny kicker. If you sign Justin Tucker, you're out. You're out. That if
I
you
think you're
draft
going to be out.
Aaron
I think
Rodgers,
you're going to
you're
be out
out.
regardless because I don't
You
think
you
Justin.
draft Aaron Rodgers on purpose, you're out.
I think
Just you're,
I think Justin is going to be sitting out this whole season. I
I
don't
didn't
think.
even see him listed as a free agent, so we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah, of course,
Well,
I didn't look very hard.
yeah.
Okay, mind
But
you.
so the league, this sounds interesting because it'd be kind of like an AFC NFC type thing.
Uh-huh.
And like you said, naturally we can't have a Super Bowl, so you would just go off the.
Just
So
go off the points.
I like this.
Yeah. So we're
I
thinking
like
that might be the
this.
case. Well, but it's early still. We still get to training camp and see how many people really want to put skin in the game.
Is there someone that's already lined up that wants to be the commish for
No,
the?
not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay. Now, if
I mean, it's a tenured role. I mean, there's a hefty salary and benefits package that goes along with it. So I'm sure once it gets posted, there'll be a lot of people that are interested, right? But
well, if
you know, it's
if it
got
came
like a
down to it,
4-year
I was going to put
contract.
my hat in the ring.
Well, I hear you.
Sacrifice myself for that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We may end up with two leagues.
That's what I'm thinking.
We might.
I,
But what we
I'm
want to do is
if that's what I was thinking. We don't necessarily want one commissioner for both.
no.
You
Yeah,
know,
it
one
could work that
commissioner
way.
for each.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Sounds
And
like
we
you're probably
also
going to be the commissioner for one, and who knows who will be the commissioner for the other.
There we go. Well, most likely. We'll see. Well, we'll see. Yeah. And we want to try to avoid that one manager, two teams thing like we ran into, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to inherit a team to
Yeah.
keep things moving.
I hope that I think that last season I did a good job of avoiding any impropriety by. I think I just really tried to get each team to put its best foot forward, even when there was that one week when my two teams played one another, and I think and it was pretty late in the season, and the team that was like one was 9-5 and the other one was 8-4. I think the 8-4 team won that week, so it evened it up rather than sandbagging and letting the team that was ahead win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're
I
trading
think
all
I did
your-
a good job of keeping that back of the napkin
Yep.
commissioner league rule.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's why-
we want to
yeah.
avoid that certainly.
And that's why we also do the trade approvals, right? We make sure that you've got multiple approvals before a trade can go through.
And that was the other thing. I did
Yeah.
2 trades over the season between my two teams, and I had to go through the
You
commissioner.
have to go through, you have to get approval from somebody,
Yeah.
So there you go. Because you don't want that
Anyway.
collusion, and you just want to avoid that because there's a lot of money at stake, right? I mean, last year I don't think we had any money.
No.
This year we don't have any money either. We might have everybody throw $1 in. Yeah. So we can get one of those plastic trophies with
There you go.
No.
Darn
Something
too.
like something like this, something like
Oh, look at that. Gelt. Mm.
you can drink from it, something like that. We'll see though. All right, well, because
Well, have you been tiding yourself over with any CFL games or like watching any replays or
I love watching the CFL. I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's so much worse than the NFL. And it's like the liberals version of football, right? I mean, it is. Everybody's paid the same. They say sorry.
Sorry. Sorry about
Sorry
that.
about that.
Oh, did I hit you there?
Here, let us all help him up now.
Hey, you didn't stub a toe, did you? Oh,
And
go have a donut and a beer.
The rules are a little bit different. There's some nuances there, but
like the
You know,
kicking game and how
I
the
watch it and
offense can be in motion
I
forward
enjoy
for.
it. I enjoy it as much as our arena football that we went and saw. Right?
Yeah, yeah. That it's
Yeah.
the arena football. That is a onslaught to the senses.
Oh man.
They really pound you with the sound, you
Yeah.
know.
You don't have to drink coffee before that game.
Oh,
You just
but the fans are more WWE than they
oh,
are NFL. And just I'm if you have a chance to go see an arena football game in your city or if you're
go
traveling,
check it out.
go do
20
it.
bucks well
It
spent.
is an assault on the senses and just watch the people and just remember we're not asking you to be one of them.
Just go watch.
Go watch.
Yeah.
But
If you can
if that's
get
your
like
bag,
the 10 to 12 rows up, somewhere in that sweet spot. Don't
oh,
get all the way down by the players. Get like 10 rows up so you can watch what people do and
wow,
how they interact with the players.
it's
Because
something
those aren't
else.
small little players either. No,
No,
no.
these are big guys. These are
These are big guys.
yeah, these are, guys that haven't quite made it to the NFL for some reason.
Right.
So don't let their size, I mean, if from a distance fool you. You get up close and,
Yeah,
oh,
you're like,
hey,
wow,
how you
that guy's
doing?
300
Yeah,
pounds. Yeah.
hi, could I?
And look
You're
at how
blocking my
fast he's
son.
moving.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Look at how fast he's moving. And they're hitting him
yeah,
to the it's like a hockey game. It's amazing. Yeah.
but okay, so training camp, fantasy football. I'm
Yep.
so eager for that. I've actually gone out and done a few practice drafts.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not,
Wow.
and ESPN's not grading me very well. That was a B
Okay.
effort there, Mick. I took my quarterback too soon. I waited
What
too long for my,
what round did you take the quarterback in?
I play around with it. I maybe round five, maybe because I start watching and I go, because I think to myself, well, if I want one of those, because let's face it, there's a group of five guys.
Uh-huh.
There's that are going to be top scorers quite often. It's going to be Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen,
Yep.
Jaden Daniels,
Daniels,
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts, and
Hurts,
Joe
and Joe.
Burrow.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, not so much because
Yep.
he's learning how to do the running game and the short game.
Yep.
But those guys, they're going to run, they're going to pass, they're going to throw the bomb. So those guys are going to score big for you. And then there's that second tier that is, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert,
Uh-huh.
Jordan Love. Brock Purdy will do okay for you, but that's because it's a dump and run game, right? Hit the screen, let the wide receiver get the
Mhm.
yardage for you. It doesn't have to be air miles. But then there's the up and comers like Bo Nix, or
Yeah.
for that matter, the guys that are tried and true like Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, maybe even Geno and Sam Darnold. But then you got the guys you don't know if you can rely on, like Tua, Kyler, Justin,
Yeah.
Bryce Young. I mean,
Right.
is it gonna happen for him? Can he get one solid coaching staff to teach? They say Drake May is gonna do well this year. Trevor Lawrence now has not just Brian Thompson Jr. Brian,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. He's got
now he has Travis Hunter.
yeah.
So I mean, if Trevor Lawrence can't get some yardage with those guys, you got to wonder if he really wants to play football or not.
Yeah.
Caleb
Sure.
Williams for the Browns. He's got Ben Johnson now, so maybe they can open that up. And then after that, you got Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. But what's it going to be like with J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Cam Ward?
Yeah.
I mean, do you risk it with Cam Ward the way? I mean, we think about C.J. Stroud's first season. Wow, that worked out really well. Or Jaden Daniels' first season. Wow,
Yeah.
that was great. I can't remember who drafted Jaden, but they had him on the bench, and I reached out and I said, "Hey, I'll trade you." And then they went, "Nope," and they moved him up to a starter.
Yeah. So back to our league size, man. That's where it helps to have that league right around the 10 to 12 mark. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
So
after that, it's Tyler Show, or I guess it's Shock. It's Irish, so that GH makes a K sound. Tyler Shock, Anthony Richardson, and Joe Flacco.
mhm. And I'm glad
I,
that you didn't mention Dak Prescott. I
I did.
appreciate.
I brought up Dak
Oh,
right there with
oh, my bad.
CJ and
My
Jared,
bad.
and
Wishful
he's
thinking.
in there. I mean, because now he always had CD Lamb,
Hmm.
still a top prospect. He's a wide receiver one, but now he's also got George Pickens if he can
Yeah.
behave himself, down in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's really getting known for having diva wide receivers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, who's wanted on murder charges right now, and
And now look at their quarterback
Mike
situation.
Williams.
Good times. Good times.
Coming up, we're 34 days away from NFL football,
That's
right? A Hall of Fame game with the Detroit Lions versus the Los Angeles Chargers on what
Yeah.
is that? Thursday, July 31st. We don't even have to wait till August this season.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
Are you excited for that, Stephen?
I am. I'm pretty excited, Mick. Well, I'm going to ask our. Oh wait, I was thinking about trivia,
Oh,
and I
cool.
thought, no, I don't know. But then I found one, and I laughed.
Okay.
For good
Okay.
solid, a good. I mean, I spit some coffee out. It was pretty good. So, what player allegedly used the pseudonym Ron Mexico to avoid bad press after giving a woman herpes?
Michael Vick.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot all about that. I was just like, I saw it and I was just cracking up because I remember that. I remember that.
That's what I remember it too.
Ron Mexico and the shirt of Ron Mexico and Ron Mexico on the back of his jersey. I was just like, this is awesome.
Oh yeah.
How did I not get one of those jerseys?
Talk about a guy who paid his debt to society.
Oh, more than once, you know.
So here I have not necessarily, do I want to call it trivia or just an interesting tidbit?
Threw it out there.
Interesting tidbit. The 2010 Buffalo Bills backfield included Marshawn Lynch, CJ Spiller, and Fred Jackson. Those were the three running backs for the Buffalo Bills in 2010. All three of those guys scored the final touchdowns of their careers for the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
What a coincidence. Yeah. Of course, very famous that, Marshawn was brought over from the Bills back in it was 2010. It was during the 2010 season. And then as years went by, as those guys moved around, because Fred Jackson was the lead back when Marshawn was drafted and remained so after Marshawn was traded to the Seahawks. I don't know a lot about CJ, but I know, he came to the Hawks, I think, for a season and, platooned in with the other guys. But interesting tidbit.
Interesting factoid. Nice.
That's all I got.
Yeah, well, Mick, let's wrap it up. Let's remind our viewers to like and subscribe. Let's also put a special shout out to my buddy and mentor that he's always welcome on the show. Always.
And I have to speak, so I get my there we go. This lovely Stone Cold Steve Austin action figure is yours.
Come on, Mr. Minshew, just give me a ring. Drop a like, show me an I am, right? Partner, if you want to jump on the show, it'd be fabulous. I'd love to see what your draft lineup looks like for fantasy football. We might have a spot in the B League. I'm not sure yet, but we'll talk.
But hey, go out, check out the other videos, check out the other podcasts. Go look at some of we have some short ones that are just trivia or factoids or small bits of entertainment. We have some couple of movie reviews. One, Disney might pull our latest one. So not to, put any pressure on you, but if you want to check it out,
got
that one. Remember the Titans, and we did the replacements, and then we talked about doing the longest yard from 1974, but
there's some controversy there.
Not sure that one aged well enough. I mean, then again, it's a movie review. We're not necessarily. But
then we got to watch it. That's it's in your Netflix thing, and then they're like, "Oh, you like this shit," and you're like, "Oh, great, what happened?"
So we'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you on that. But anyway, Gardner, you're always welcome. Please don't hesitate. Give me a ring. I'm here. Call Mick. Doesn't matter. Everybody else, like, subscribe, put your comments below,
and have a wonderful day.
And remember, we really have no idea.
None whatsoever.
And good luck, Tucker.
Have a good day.
All right.
See ya.